Morning everyone. I'm chatting to you on a Sunday morning. I've decided today's the day I'm going to record the microneedling DIY home microneedling video to show you how to do it correctly and which device to use so that you don't create more damage and that you're actually doing some good to your skin as well. So microneedling is also known as collagen induction therapy. So by creating tiny little micro injuries on the skin via little punctures on a needle, we are actually able to start a cascade of healing. And that cascade of healing then brings forth more collagen, and we are able to then deliver product or ingredients directly through to the skin. At home, I'd prefer you not to be trying to get into the dermis and put active ingredients in the dermis. You are just going to be going into the papillary dermis, the outside dermis, just below the epidermis, and your sort of result at home should be just a bit of collagen induction, and it should be aiding what I'm doing in the salon with you. So I'll be doing the deeper dermapen treatment, which is going up to 3.5 millimeters in certain areas, from 0.25 around the eyes, right up to 3 millimeters in the very fleshier areas on the skin. Okay, first, most important thing, I want to discuss sanitation, or keeping your device clean, making sure that it's got no bacteria on it before you use it. So mine is actually at the moment sitting in an alcohol, and I let it soak for a little bit, then I'll rinse it off with water, and then it's ready to use. Let it dry. I pat it dry, because even water from our taps has got a bit of bacteria which we don't want to introduce into the skin. So I use 𝐸𝐸𝐻𝐻's rubbing alcohol. It's not that expensive, because since COVID all the alcohol prices have just gone crazy because they're in all the sanitizers. So that is what my roller looks like. So you're going to say to me, Jackie, there's no needles on that. There are tiny little needles. This is a 0.5 length needle, and I don't want you using anything on the face longer than a 0.5. If you're doing body rolling for things like stretch marks, then you can go up to a 1 or a 1.5. That's fine. You're going to then need some form of numbing, because you're hitting the little nerve endings and it's going to be less comfortable. But for my purposes and for using it around on your face, I definitely want you using 0.25 to a 0.5, and that is more than adequate to give you a nice erythema, which is the redness. It's the reaction on your skin that we're looking for, and also that collagen cascade that we're going to create. So I'm going to leave you for a second. I'm just going to rinse off my roller that's been soaking in the alcohol for a few minutes, and then I'm going to just tap it dry so that it's ready to use. And then at the end of the video, if there's anything you're not sure of, please pop a message down below and I will answer. If it's regarding ingredients that you'd like to put into your skin, or what a particular problem that you're trying to treat, I will let you know whether it can be done at home or can be helped at home, or whether you need to be in an office environment. Okay, let me go rinse my device and I'll be with you in a second. Right, I'm back. I have now got various devices I want to show you and what I use them for. So I've got two facial devices, 0.5 and a 1 mil. Then I've got the Big Daddy, which is my body roller, and that is where I use it on stretch marks, my arms, any areas that I'm unhappy with the texture of the skin, hands, top of the hands. Please remember, the reason I'm telling you not to use more than a 0.5 on your face is that there is a drag on the needle. So these circular rollers are not ideal, and not everyone is going to go and buy a home dermapen. So as the needle enters the skin, that's all fine and well, but with incorrect technique, too much pressure, and some of the device's flaws, as they come out, they tear the skin. So I only want you working in the epi and the upper papillary dermis. So I don't want you going further than that. And yeah, so we're going to start with that now. And I'm going to show you how I start. I start in one particular area and I work my way across the face. I'm going to try and do this quite fast because my videos have been a bit long lately. So I'm using hyaluronic acid, which is your magnet for moisture in the skin. So all I'm doing, so in the salon, of course, it would all be gloved. And because we're going deeper into the skin, I would advise using gloves if you're using anything further than a 0.5 or a 1. So here is my cleaned, sanitized device. And all I'm going to do is start in one particular area, one particular direction, going across the face, stopping at the orbital rim because we can get to the eye a little bit later. Much easier to do the eye area in the office with my pen device. And of course I can pull down your eyelids. I've got more hands available and we get a much better result with that. But all I want you to do is a solid, all you're doing is you're just feeling slight punctures and you're stopping on the orbital rim. Now that you've done that direction, you change directions and just lightly, I'm not pushing hard, you go in another direction. I'm almost going to form a star shape. So that is my other direction. I'm stopping at the jawbone, but you can in your next area go down on the neck. So now again, I'm going to go in the opposite direction of that, a crisscross formation, and I am rolling very light up and across like that. And I want to even go here where you get your crow's feet. And if you feel that your skin is getting a bit dry, you can always pause and put on more serum. I will discuss the serums after I've rolled as to which you can and should not use. Over here you can go a little more frequent because we've got pores, enlarged pores in that area, and I'm wanting you to see some erythema. So it's going to happen. It's a little delayed always. You work for a while and then suddenly the cheek will be red. Right, that is one area done. I think there's one direction I haven't gone in. You're just wanting to make sure you've got lots of little micro injuries, and that's how it's going to go. I'm going to just pop a little bit more serum on. My hands have been washed, and I want the serum just to go into all those little tiny punctures. So you can actually start seeing the erythema or the redness on this left hand side. Okay, next area, just going to pop a bit more hyaluronic acid all over my face because I'm trying to be a bit faster so that you can see more of this video without it being cut off. Right, I'm going to then upward first. Can go onto the lip line if you can bear it. Nothing wrong with some collagen induction on the lips. Right, across. So I've done up, done across, angular, and the other direction like that. Not hard, because we don't want that tearing. So it's just the entry really, the entry wound. So just like that. I'm just going to do a little bit more because I've got big pores on my chin. Right, right, I'm ready for this cheek. Firstwards up. You should hear no breaking of the skin, otherwise your device is probably blunt. Probably about 5 treatments you'll get out of each device. I sell the devices for 100 Rand in the salon. They really are just a complimentary device for during your breaks from my treatment, so that at home you can sit, watch TV and do a bit of microneedling just to help the process. Right, then I'm going to go across like a star all the way, crow's feet, down here. There we go. Other direction. Not hard at all, very light, no pressure. And across. So you'll see it is just like a star as long as you've done all the directions. And you'll start to feel your skin heating up. That's the start of the erythema and your skin realizing that there's a micro injury going on. And that's how it goes. Very, very easy. So you repeat this in every single area. Upper lip is a little bit more tricky because there's not a lot of space to work there, but it's definitely a must for anyone who has little barcodes, smokers, slightly more elderly. Okay, so I've done up, I'm doing across, I'm doing across and across, and that is upper lip onto the lip line. I'm going right into the red white border, and that's where I am now. Nose is a little bit more tricky because it's got a lot of contours and detail, but it's a definite must, especially if you're like me where you've got visible pores on your nose. It makes the eyes water a little bit. I definitely get a bit of a tear to the eye, and the sinuses work. But you do want to do nice light rolls. Difficult to do all your different angles on a nose, so just make sure you're changing direction. I can't see if there's any blood. If there is blood, it will be pinpoint bleeding, which you just rub back into the skin, because platelets are amazing for the skin, so we don't waste good blood. Good blood is like gold. And we make, there you can see my nose is bleeding. And we're going to just pop it back into those little micro injuries, little holes in the skin, so that we get the benefit of platelet therapy as well. Right, that's pretty much, I like a little bit more erythema on my cheeks, but it's going to be working while, oh, there you can see some blood on my nose. It's going to be working while I do the forehead. Right, rub in the blood, beautiful. Make sure you keep popping serum on if you're feeling very dry. The little micro injuries are open for the next 12 hours, but that's not really, if you're very dry, you can keep adding a bit of hyaluronic acid or some peptides, but I don't want you doing anything more than that. That's why you should not wash your face for the following 12 hours, because actives can work on the skin for 12 hours. Some actives are alive for 12 hours and do their benefit to the skin. You can see I'm starting to get quite rosy, and this is very good for those forehead and frown lines. I'm going to go in there, I'm going to go there. Once you finish your microneedling, make sure you put your roller device straight back into alcohol and pack it away in its little casing until the next time that you use it, and then you're going to again put it in alcohol before you use it. See if there's any blood on the forehead. Can't see any. I'm feeling nice and warm. It feels like the beginning of a sunburn, which is the process starting. And if you feel like you haven't had enough effect in a specific area, as long as you're not pushing too hard, you can go back there, do a little bit more. But I think you can see that my skin is definitely getting rosier. Okay, so that's pretty much it. After this, I wouldn't put any creams or lotions and potions on. You're just going to leave the skin to do its magic. You've kind of woken it up, and it's going to start that whole cascade of healing, and it then releases growth factors, and eventually you get collagen, new collagen being created in your skin. So let the skin do what it's made to do, and that is it. So as my last move, I'm just now going to apply some HA, some hyaluronic acid. The reason I've chosen that as a recommended home serum, it's not irritating. I don't want you guys using vitamin A's or C's and then phoning me because you're swollen or you have reactive dermatitis and you don't know how to resolve it. Just stick with something really gentle, either peptides, which are just like vitamins but very, very inactive vitamins, or hyaluronic acid, which is just like a magnet to moisture. So it's going to plump the skin. Right over here, I'm just going to lightly go around the eye area. even on the upper lid where I find I'm a bit heavier. I'm giving myself a bit of a tear here. And that's it. Okay, this should only be done if you have a 0.5. You can do it weekly, not more than weekly. Salon deeper microneedling is done only once a month because collagen induction takes 28 days for the full effect. So where we are playing in your dermis, we only want it done once a month or a little bit more than that. Right, can you see how red I'm getting? My nose is nice and red. My cheeks are everything feels alive. That's one thing my clients always say after a good derma pen, is that their skin is definitely alive, awake. Right. That's pretty much it. Okay, so the no-nos, no extreme exercise today, no sun, and no washing for 12 hours. So I will only wash tomorrow morning. Oh, now I'm rosy. And if you're really hot, you can pop a fan on your face and just let it calm down. If there's any swelling, which there is a slight bit of swelling, you just leave it, and by the next day it will be sorted. And that is my erythema starting. I can actually feel it building. That's my video on microneedling at home. So again, fantastic little device just for you to do your bit of homework while I'm doing the big stuff in the office. And like I said, it comes in this cute little casing to keep it nice and protected. But now I'm going to soak mine again in its alcohol so that I keep it sterilized between treatments. And yes, that's home 101 for dummies. You can't go wrong. As long as you're keeping to 0.5, you don't need to be a cowboy at home. You're going to create more problems than like hyperpigmentation if you do too much injury to the skin. We are trained to know how much to do on our skin and your skins. So don't be a cowboy. All you are doing is in between treatments, keeping the skin awake, and you can even see immediately afterwards, like tomorrow, I'll be nice and plump. The lines, the little fine lines are a little bit plumper just because of a little bit of swelling. But that's me over and out. That's Jackie from Lambton Skin Clinic. And like I said, please subscribe, like the video if you want to hear anything more, and ask me any questions and I'll be happy to answer you. So please at home, no using actives, and stop your retinols 2 to 3 days before microneedling, and don't use your retinols 2 to 3 days after microneedling. You will feel it. Your skin is a little bit sensitive, so let it just calm. Tomorrow is just a cleanse. I'm really not going to be putting on crazy amounts of serum and creams. I'm just going to let the skin do its work. Look at that nice rosy face. That's me done. Have a lovely Sunday. Speak to you guys soon.